As an international student or a newcomer, it's important to understand the cost of living in different cities before deciding where to live in Canada. In this video, we will compare the cost of living in 5 major cities of Canada: Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary, and Ottawa. Toronto is the largest and most populous city in Canada, and it's known for its multiculturalism, bustling downtown core, and thriving arts and culture scene. However, it's also the most expensive city to live in Canada, with an average cost of living index of 91.32. Housing costs in Toronto are one of the major contributors to the high cost of living in the city. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Toronto is around 2,200 Canadian dollars per month, while a two-bedroom apartment can cost around 2,800 Canadian dollars per month. The cost of utilities, such as heating, electricity, and water, can add up to around 200 Canadian dollars per month. Transportation costs in Toronto are also high, with a monthly pass for public transit costing around 156 Canadian dollars. A weekly grocery shop for one person can cost around 60 Canadian dollars 80, while eating out at a mid-range restaurant can cost around 20 Canadian dollars 30 per meal. In Toronto, a basic mobile plan with a limited amount of data can cost around 50 Canadian dollars 60 per month, while an unlimited data plan can cost around 100 Canadian dollars per month. Vancouver is a coastal city located in the west of Canada, surrounded by mountains, forests, and the Pacific Ocean. The cost of housing in Vancouver can be quite high, with rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center averaging around 2,000 Canadian dollars per month. Students may want to consider living further from the city center to save money on housing costs. Vancouver has a good public transportation system, with a monthly pass for unlimited travel on buses, trains, and ferries costing around 98 Canadian dollars. The average monthly cost of utilities for a one-bedroom apartment is around 100,150 Canadian dollars per month. Compared to Toronto and Vancouver, Montreal has a lower cost of living, with an average cost of living index of 76.78. On average, a one-bedroom apartment in the city center can cost around $1,100 CAD per month, while a similar apartment outside the city center can cost around $850 CAD per month. A basic grocery list for a week can cost around $60 to $80 CAD, depending on where you shop. Transportation in Montreal is also affordable and efficient, with a monthly pass for public transit costing around $86 CAD. Mobile and internet costs in Montreal are comparable to other major Canadian cities. The cost of living in Calgary is lower than in Toronto and Vancouver, but still relatively high, with an average cost of living index of 77.97. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center can range from 1,000 Canadian dollars to 1,800 Canadian dollars per month, while rent for a one-bedroom apartment outside the city center can range from 800 Canadian dollars to 1,500 Canadian dollars per month. Calgary has a good public transportation system, which includes buses and light rail transit, LRT. The cost of a one-way ticket on the public transit system is 3 Canadian dollars and 50 cents, while a monthly pass costs around 109 Canadian dollars. Taxis and ride-sharing services such as Uber are also available. A basic mobile phone plan with unlimited calling and texting can cost around 50 Canadian dollars per month, while a high-speed internet plan can cost around 70 Canadian dollars per month. For a one-bedroom apartment, the average cost of utilities can range from 150 Canadian dollars to 250 Canadian dollars per month. Overall, while Calgary may be more affordable than some other major Canadian cities, it is still important for international students to budget carefully and look for part-time job opportunities to help cover their expenses. Ottawa is the capital of Canada and the 4th largest city in the country. The cost of living in Ottawa is lower than in Toronto and Vancouver, with an average cost of living index of 77.44. The average monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center is around 1,300 Canadian dollars to 1,600 Canadian dollars, while outside the city center, it is around 1,000 Canadian dollars to 1,300 Canadian dollars. Food and grocery costs in Ottawa are similar to other Canadian cities, with an average monthly cost of 300 Canadian dollars to 400 Canadian dollars per person. Transportation in Ottawa is well connected with the city's efficient public transportation system, including buses and trains. The monthly cost of a public transit pass is 119 Canadian dollars and 50 cents. Taxis and ride-hailing services like Uber are also available. Mobile and internet costs in Ottawa are similar to other Canadian cities, with an average monthly cost of 80 Canadian dollars to 100 Canadian dollars. Read this full article on CanadaNeo.com.